Mobsters, demons, and lots of gunplay. What could possibly be better? From my point of view, if they would just add a hint of kung fu fighting, The Darkness would be the perfect game. The Darkness is a gothic first-person shooter that was released June 27th of 2007 for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 consoles from 2K and Starbreeze. What makes this game so unique from other first-person shooters is the intriguing story, characters, and locations. Based on the Top Cow comic book, the game does take inspiration from the comic, but weaves its own blood-splattering tale. Meet 21-year-old Jackie Estacado, a mafia hitman with the coolest hair you'll ever see. You wake up in the back of a car, only to find out that a deal has gone horribly wrong. A chase with the cops ensues, and things go from bad to worse. Soon you end up on foot at a construction site. You quickly find out that your uncle Paulie suspects that you're a rat and has put a hit out on you. This means that every trigger-itchy mobster is out to get you, and the only way to survive is to take everyone who gets in your way out. Sounds like a pretty awesome story, right? Well, it gets even better. Early on in the game, Jackie is possessed by a demon that calls itself the Darkness. The Darkness needs a host, and a mafia hitman will indeed serve the creature's devious purpose. The Darkness itself is a talking two-headed demon creature that sits on your shoulder and gives you all sorts of nifty powers that progress and upgrade as you get further into the game. You'll be able to summon imp-like demonic creatures that do everything from shoot lights out to literally act as a kamikaze. But the Darkness itself also acts as a weapon, with its tentacles, which can be used to grab objects, kill your enemies, and poke out lights. Speaking of lights, the Darkness is weak to it, and you'll find yourself shooting and poking them out wherever you go. Let the Darkness stay in the light too long, and it disappears back into Jackie's body. The Darkness also requires substance, in the form of human hearts. Yes, you heard me right, my friends. Human hearts. Of course, the Darkness can only devour hearts of people who are evil and will not partake of the virtuous citizens of New York City, who you might decide to off. I have to admit, eating hearts never gets old, even as gruesome and violent as it may sound. The Darkness isn't Jackie's only weapon. As in many other first-person shooters, you'll pick up plenty of guns that will only get more and more powerful along the way. The game takes place in New York City, and getting around is pretty easy for the most part, though there were a few instances where we found ourselves lost and found that the game's map wasn't much help at all. Still, strolling around the city is fun, despite the fact that Jackie walks at a snail's pace. It would have been really nice if the developers had given Jackie the ability to run. Yes, we know he's cool and all, but after a while, just walking becomes a bit annoying. From a purely visual and audio standpoint, The Darkness looks and sounds incredible. Even after a year's time, it really is one of the best looking games you'll find on any platform. Sure, sometimes it might be nice to see a few more pedestrians in New York City. After all, it is New York City, but this is only a minor gripe. Some design decisions from the developers may leave you a bit stuck at times, simply wondering where to go or what they had in mind for you to do next. But this only happens 2 or 3 times throughout the game, and odds are when it's all said and done, you won't even remember these instances. Another thing that sets The Darkness apart from other first-person shooters is its dialogue. Main characters who do have speaking roles match their character perfectly, and you truly do get the feeling that you're in New York City, complete with lots of mobsters. Jackie himself, as well as the Darkness creature, really bring the game to light, and simply put it a peg above other games in the genre. First-person shooters nowadays are a dime a dozen. The market is so oversaturated that it's just ridiculous. Yes, The Darkness is just another first-person shooter, but what sets it apart is its unique story, creepy atmosphere, and memorable characters. While there are some questionable design decisions, The Darkness is well worth playing. Story. I give the story a 9 out of 10. I mean, it's demons and mobsters. Like I said in the beginning, if they would add a little bit of kung fu, the game would be perfect. Graphics and design. 8 out of 10. The graphics and visuals are stunning. As I said, there are some very strange design decisions. Sometimes you'll just be left wondering where to go, but in the end, perhaps it's just nitpicking. The sound, I'm going to give a 9 out of 10. It accompanies the game perfectly. It's not something you're going to listen to on its own, but as far as just a soundtrack while you're playing the game, it's terrific. Gameplay, 7 out of 10. There are a few instances where, for example, you'll grab for an object with your darkness tentacle, and maybe it won't work. So things aren't perfect, but as far as first-person shooters go, it works really well overall. Fun factor tilt, 8 out of 10. This game is a lot of fun, despite getting stuck maybe 2 or 3 times in the game. It's just a really great experience. The gritty, dark atmosphere of it really pours out, and anyone who has an interest in mobsters or maybe the supernatural is really, really going to dig the darkness. So, overall score, an 8.5 out of 10. I really, really like the darkness. It's one of my favorite first-person shooters, and it's definitely something I think that you should play. Is it worth the money? Yes, especially now that you can probably get this game for around $30 used. If anything, definitely give it a rental. For someone like me, it's definitely worth a buy because it's something I'm going to go back to. There are rumors of a second Darkness game coming out, and it's probably going to happen sometime in late 2009, early 2010. So let's hope that the rumors are true.
But what no one knew was that a timeless force hidden deep within his soul,
I am your friend,
was about to be unleashed.
your gift, your evidence, your burden, darkness.
It has the power to destroy him.
Remember, a powerful enemy now festers within you. I gave you a gift. I can take it away.
Or become his greatest strength.
Soulless Jackie. Darkness unimaginable. Come, embrace the darkness.
TheDarknessIsSpreading.com